Good evening and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Front Page, a show brought to you by Cayuga Community College for the spring 2019 semester here. This is a show that is shown on Spectrum, Verizon Fios, ARMA, the Auburn Regional Media Access, as well as played on Win 89.1, the college's radio station. I'm your host, Guy Cosentino. Leadership Cayuga, for those of you who don't know, has been around for almost 30 years. It has recruited leaders throughout our community to serve in a variety of functions. And in areas. More than 500 people and individuals have gone through the program over the last 3 decades. And tonight we have invited their program director, Jessica Wrench of the Chamber of Commerce, to come on to talk about not only the current class, but also her efforts to recruit for 2019. Ms. Wrench joined the Chamber back about a year ago. She replaced longtime director Ginny Kent, and her first class graduates in June. Or at the end of May. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glad to have you here. So if you're living under a rock for the last 3 decades, what is Leadership Cayuga?
Leadership Cayuga is a 9-month program where we take adult students throughout Cayuga County. We talk about education, government, history, health and wellness, human services, and many other subjects throughout the community. We give them an inside access to what's going on, inside access to leaders, so you can hear the vision behind who is running the show here in our community.
So it's both interactive and lecture type in the sense that you'll hear from people, but
yes.
You have I know you do a session at City Hall, I think it is,
yes.
where they run a government meeting.
Yes, absolutely. They do a mock city council meeting. They get to talk to the city manager. They get to talk to the mayor and other elected officials from the
and
city
many
of
of
Auburn.
which have been through the program.
Yes,
like
many
Jeff
of which
Geigart,
have. Yes.
for example, city manager has been through.
Yeah.
How long has the program been around?
For about 30 years. This is actually, I think, our 30th year. Started in 1989, the best class ever.
It is the best class ever. That's the job. I've gone away from saying I'm the best class ever, in the best class ever. I think now it is I'm just the first class, because I think I've aged out of that. So any idea how many people have gone through the program?
Over 600.
Okay, so
Yeah.
100 more than I thought.
Yeah.
And where do you get participants from?
They can come from all over the county. Typically, it's someone who is new to their position or new to the community.
So they can be in business, education, members of the clergy, government?
Yes, absolutely, any and all, even from the health and human services sector. We also have 2 spots for high school students.
Okay.
So we've had high school students from Auburn High School, from Union Springs, from Wheatsport, and we really like to see a diversified geographical class.
And do some employers they pay for it?
Yes.
And you can pay for it if you just on a whim want to do it. You can do it yourself as well.
Yes.
And we'll talk about how you
Yeah.
get to that. The goal here is to get, and I love the phrase in the application, people who have potential. You're not looking for people necessarily to run for office, though a lot of people have.
Yes.
I know in that first class, about half of us did, one way or the other.
Yeah.
But in years, it's more about becoming an active community member. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We really hope that at the end of this class, you will take a serious step towards either board involvement, increased volunteer activity, possibly running in a political arena, but we really want to see you become a more active member of the community.
Yeah, and you're not bipartisan, you're nonpartisan. If
Correct.
somebody wants to run for the school board, which many people have, people want to run for city council or the assembly. Dan Fezzan
Yes.
ran for the assembly. He was, I think, in the 2nd or 3rd class. But the bigger goal here is to have them network with not only people in the class, people who are addressing the class, and other class members.
Yes, absolutely. So throughout the 9 months, you obviously become very close within your class, and now you have some ride or die friends that you can go to when you're working on a community project.
And we talk about not-for-profit boards. That's where you're a big feeder for.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Chamber acts as a resource.
Yeah.
Leadership Cayuga at the Chamber acts as a feeder. You have a list. If somebody's looking for somebody who's an architect or somebody who has some finance or legal or just wants to serve in a, you even get down to if you want to work with people with disabilities or education or something of that nature?
Yes, so at the end of the class, we ask each class member what their interests are and if there's any specific boards that they're looking to get on. So it could be the American Red Cross, and then I can reach out to that organization and say, hey, I've got a couple people for you whenever you're looking for board members next. Or nonprofits can contact me and say, hey, we're looking for some more board members. Do you have anyone that's out in Moravia?
So it's not automatic that you get on the board.
Correct.
But it gives both the person who wants to volunteer and may not know a way in,
Yes.
as well as the organization that's always looking. I would have to say right now,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know any board that doesn't have somebody from Leadership Cayuga on it.
I like
in
that.
one time.
I like that a lot.
So companies are really looking for their, but from an employer standpoint, this is a way for an employer to find somebody who might have that potential leadership spark that just hasn't been cultivated, and this is a way to test it out.
Absolutely. In each class, we do talk about leadership qualities and different things that you can do to increase your personal leadership, both at work and at home. We work with personality types. We talk about interpersonal workings at work, anything that will help you in your job too.
And you mentioned students, so you do include high school students in this.
Yes.
Do they have to be juniors or seniors, or what's their age?
We prefer seniors, but I know we had a junior in the class last year, and whatever works best in their schedule.
And where are this year's from?
We have one student this year, and she's from Auburn High School.
And how can students participate?
So they can go to their guidance counselor, or they can call the chamber and get some more information as well.
And who pays for a student? I know we'll get into the pricing.
Yes.
Is that paid for by the district? Is that paid for by the chamber?
Actually, we have a scholarship from the Auburn Rotary and the Auburn Kiwanis Club.
Chock full of Leadership Cayuga people.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know community foundations in the community have been supportive of this and provide some scholarship support as well.
Yep.
So you said this was a 9-month program. How often do you meet?
Once a month. So it's one day, once a month. Just
and is
9
it
to
always
5.
at the same place at 2 State Street, at the chamber offices, or do you go around?
We go all over the community. So I do try to make sure that we're in the Auburn vicinity because most of the class is here in Auburn, but I like to see us go to Aurora if we can, Moravia. We'll move the class around so that you get to experience different places.
And is it a full day?
It's a full day.
And you said move around. You do a day of tours. I know in the past there have been tours of the prison.
Yes.
Auburn Correctional Facility.
Yep.
Is that still?
We still go on the prison tour. Yep.
And you go in with as many as you come out with as many as you go.
So far, so good.
First year?
Yeah.
Okay, first tour. I want to ask a couple questions about you. How long have you been in this position?
So I've been in this position about a year, but I went through Leadership Cayuga in 2007 as well.
Okay, best class ever?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So when did the 2019 class start?
They started in September of this past year.
And so this is your first full class where you're, how's it going so far?
It is going well. I think everyone has really given me a little bit more insight into what the class can be. And it's shown me how curious I am about our community. It's given me more opportunities for questions and to learn more about what's going on.
Is there anything in this class that's been your favorite thing so far?
My favorite thing so far? Well, we do a game called Star Power, and I think that is fascinating.
Because some people either really like it or they hate you all.
Yes.
And there's no in between.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
What did you do before you joined the chamber?
Sure. So I did project management, marketing. I was very involved in the community.
You were at the Citizen for many years. So, did it help for the job you have now, having gone through the program?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of knew what to expect with each class. Ginny was a great mentor. She had notes galore for everything as well. And I kind of knew what to expect. Plus, with having so much experience in the community, I kind of had some idea of where to take the classes.
And do you have other responsibilities at the chamber?
Yes.
So what are they?
Yes. So I also run our educational seminar series. So I bring in speakers who can speak to topics about human resources, finance, accounting, anything like that our members might need some more information on. And then I put those in throughout the year.
Who do you have coming up?
I have one tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
Allie Colvin is coming in. She's a local
And we should
lawyer.
say we're taping this on the 23rd. So,
Oh, yeah.
So if you're watching this on Thursday night, you're late.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do have her coming in. She's going to be talking about a guide to liquor licensing in New York State, and that's really for entrepreneurs or anyone looking to expand their business. But earlier this year, we did one about networking, which was well attended. We've done about how to read your financials 101, which was really geared towards board members or anyone who is just a little confused about all those numbers.
And you have the Finger Lakes Grants Information Center at the
Yes.
Chamber. Is that your responsibility as well?
Yes, absolutely.
So for those who don't know what FILGIC is, Finger Lakes Grants Information Center, what is it?
So it is a resource for nonprofits to come in and not only gain knowledge about some grant finding information, but also look for grants. So we have the professional version of the Foundation Center online, and it's a directory that you can use to search for foundations in Cayuga County and outside of Cayuga County that would align with your mission and goals that you can apply for grants from.
And do you have to be a chamber member for that, or you can just walk in the door? You set up
can
an
just
appointment.
Walk in the door, yeah. Once you have to do an orientation, which is about 15 or 20 minutes, depending on how many questions you have, just so we can show you the software, what it is, and what you're looking at. But once that happens, you can come in to use it anytime. We're open 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday.
So your next class will start when?
In September.
And what type of individuals are you looking for right now?
I am looking for anyone interested in getting more involved in Cayuga County, but particularly someone who's new to their position at work, could be a new management position, or someone who is new to the community. Would love to show them about
So I've
everything we
seen
have.
people in this program who have been educators. Some have been human services people.
Yeah.
I've seen people who've been in the insurance business and want to know a little bit more about the community.
Yeah.
There are people who do want to run for office. I'm not going to eliminate that. But there are also a lot who just want to know, they want to suck that sponge and
Yes.
just really learn about Cayuga County.
Yes, we actually had past Sheriff Dave Gould in the class of 2018, and
That may have been the most fun class.
it was a really fun class. I caught the tail end of it. They were great. But he said at the end of this that he didn't know how much there was to learn in Cayuga County, which was fascinating to me because he's been on over 80 boards. He knows so much, and he said he learned so much from this program.
And in his particular case, you do sometimes have elected officials, but not
Yeah.
necessarily. You have a lot. I will say the county and the city, this
Yes.
college. You have some institutions, some of the banks.
Yes.
Nucor Steel.
Absolutely.
These have been standard
Yeah.
feeders to you, and not everybody stays in the community. I would
Sure.
most likely lose a couple here and there, especially at Nucor Steel when people get promoted, which
Yeah.
is good for them.
Yes.
But this program might have helped them do that.
Yeah.
What's the cost?
So the cost is $1,200. Now, if
Okay.
you're a chamber member, you get a $100 discount. And if you get your application in before August 15th, there's an additional $100 discount. So it could bring it down to $1,000.
And so there's the discount if you're early. There are some scholarships available. You mentioned the
Yes.
Rotary for the students.
Yes, yep. And then we have some limited on a first come, first served basis scholarships available as well.
And how does somebody register?
So they can go to CayugaCountyChamber.com. Under programs is Leadership Cayuga. The link to the application is right there.
I know one of the big pieces of Leadership is these projects that you do.
Yes.
How do they work?
So at the beginning of the year, we break the class into project groups, and then
How
we,
big is the class? I'm sorry, we should say
Oh,
this.
yeah.
How large is the class?
so we have 16 students in the class this
Okay.
year. We can have up to like 25.
Okay.
So there's room. And we break them into 4 groups and ask them to look at a community need and try and fill that need with a project.
So what are some of the topics this year?
So this year, one of the groups decided to look into community recycling at our parks. They researched what has been done and what could be done and are creating a solution specifically at Casey Park
And when will they present?
on May 9th. And that will be from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Can anybody attend?
Anyone can attend.
And where is it at?
At the Hilton.
Okay. And so they'll present to who, besides anybody who wants to come in, but do
Sure.
they present to a specific group, to their class, to a group of individuals from the chamber? Who?
To their class and any other, usually their employers come to see what they've been working on all year, and then interested members of the public as well.
And have any of those projects that, and I know you're relatively new, so this
Sure.
may be an unfair question, have any of the projects that have been done over the last, I know the one I was on first was about an airport
Yeah.
for Cayuga County. That obviously did not occur. Do some of them end up being things that people glom onto and do something with?
Sure.
Because you do have some organizations who ask you, like Auburn Public Theater has
Yes.
asked you to do X, Y, Z.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I know, like in my year, for example, our project had to do with Market Street Park, and the city took our ideas and put them into the proposal that eventually created the updates that came to Market Street Park.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't use our light show, but
Okay,
it's
but
okay.
over by
But yeah.
over by the fire department and the Ancient Order of Harborians across from Hunter's Diner.
Yes, absolutely.
So the projects are May 9th. Then what?
And then we have our graduation luncheon on May 30th, which is also open to the community and leadership alumni, anyone who'd like to come.
And so again, people can get information on Leadership Cayuga how?
At CayugaCountyChamber.com. We're also on Facebook as well.
All right, we want to thank, 15 minutes goes really, really quick.
Really fast.
We want to thank Jessica Wrench of the Cayuga County Chamber of Commerce, who runs their Finger Lakes Grants Information Center, as well as Leadership Cayuga and their education programs there, for joining us to talk about Leadership Cayuga. It is a very worthwhile program. We urge you to look online. It is worth your time, especially if you'd like to know more about your community. We'll be back on Thursday with 2 shows. We're hoping to have Assemblyman Gary D. Finch on Inside Government to talk about the 2019-2020 budget that was just passed by the New York State Legislature. We're running into some scheduling problems with the legislature itself. We'll then be followed with a Beyond the Front Page with Adam Winslow, who'll talk about this upcoming season of the Double Days. He's their general manager, and what turf will do at Falcon Park. We'll be back next Tuesday with 2 back-to-back Inside Governments. The first one on the Auburn Large School District budget with Jeff Perizzola, the superintendent, and Lisa Green, who is their business manager. They have a budget that goes before voters in May, and then we will finish up with Jeff Digert, the city manager, and Ms. Jacobs, the new comptroller of the city, to talk about their budget that does not have to go before the public, but does have to go before City Council for a July 1st date. We hope to then finish off the season next Thursday on May 2nd with the candidates for the Auburn Large School District. As long as there are 3 or more registered with petitions, they have until next Wednesday to register, so you might have a knock on your door to have you sign petitions, but we hope to bring you that. Jeremy Boyer will be asking the questions. I will be moderating. I'm Guy you can send your questions for the shows, not the forum, to cozguytho@aol.com or Inside Government, 141 Dunning Avenue, Auburn, New York, 13021. I'm Guy Cosentino for Cayuga Community College. We want to thank you for watching. We hope you have a great evening and have a terrific tomorrow.